After famously alienating anybody that may possibly be interested in Snow White, Disney has figured out they had to force Rachel Zegler to apologize. And luckily, well, she sort of kind of did so. But maybe not, because it may not be authentic. What am I talking about? I'm talking about a great story with my friend Spencer Bacculi, who actually wrote it over on Bounding into Comics. How are you doing, Spencer?
Culture. I'm doing amazing now that I get to hang out with you.
Hey, I'm doing more better than anybody could possibly imagine. I will say this: Disney's Snow White is classic. It's a legendary film dating back to 1937. But the idea of trying to do it again means you have to do it in a way that it meets or exceeds the expectations of the original. Disney's Snow White star Rachel Zegler offers public apology after calling for Donald Trump and his supporters to never know peace. Well, I mean, that doesn't seem nice. But anyway, she says, "Let my emotions get the best of me." Spencer, you wrote the story. You read
Culture.
you read the story. You saw the apology, what little there was of it, and how definitely PR written it was.
Oh, yes.
Did her emotions get the best of her, Spencer?
Yes, but I don't think that it's sort of how she's framing it. It wasn't an oopsie moment. This was I'm going on a concerted, like you said, a couple seconds ago. The apology, not sincere. That original post, very sincere.
Oh yeah, this was a moment of what we would call scorched earth. But anyway, in your own words, I'll say that it looks like someone at Disney realized that writing off a majority of the country, that's true, may not be a financially winning move. Was that a financially winning move, Spencer?
You know what? It doesn't look like the fact that they had to get the Disney PR team out there. Not at all. Doesn't seem like it's going to be a good move because not only is it costing them to have to backpedal that, but again, right? Donald Trump won the popular vote here. It's like it's the phenomenon. Republican hasn't done that for years. I think the last one was Grover Cleveland or something like that. I don't even know if that's correct, but it wasn't Trump, but it's Trump now. And so Rachel Zegler basically came out and said, I hope most of America isn't happy. I hope they never know peace. And I can't imagine that that was going to reflect well on their box office.
Yeah, so she obviously attempted to walk it back, and we're going to take a look at what that looks like here in just a second. But as previously reported on November 12th, the actor took to her personal Instagram account to share a number of posts to the site's auto deleting story feature, which, guess what, doesn't work fast enough, expressing her disdain towards Trump's victory in a recent 2024 U.S. presidential election. Can I tell you, Spencer, that the internet is forever, and the self-deleting thing after so many hours is kind of a dumb plan since everybody screenshotted it anyway?
Yeah, I
Seems
don't know who that feature is for anymore. Because yeah, if I see it, I can just screen cap it and it's there forever.
Yeah. And by the way, one of our great friends, Stephanie, over at My
Steph!
Nerdy Home. You got to check out Stephanie's channel. She's amazing. Good friend.
She is.
And she's the one that captured all of this for all of us, for prosperity or posterity or for
And
something possibly.
prosperity.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
For
Well,
us.
after
For
did you
us.
see you see the video views I got on this? Anyway, so look, I find myself speechless in the midst of this, wrote the Shazam Fury of the
Saran.
Shazam. Shazam. Fury of the Gods to her per screen caps of her post shared by Twitter user My Nerdy Home. Another 4 years of hatred, leading us towards a world I do not want to live in. Now, see, this is where I was like, okay, there's counseling for you. Okay, if you're really feeling that low,
Right.
leading us towards a world that will be hard to raise my daughter in. She doesn't have a daughter.
She
She's
doesn't
not
have a
pregnant.
daughter.
Yeah, leaning us towards why is she afraid of the word leading?
She
Leaning.
uses it like 9 times here. It
Hmm.
made transcribing it very awkward.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so leading us towards a world that will force her to have a baby she doesn't want. You don't have a daughter, she's not having a baby. Leading us towards a world that is fearful. Okay, that I can buy. There might be some people that are fearful. I'm going to give that one to you. Anyway, I broke down all the way through this. Of course, she finished the tirade of the what was it, 4 different slides,
Yep, 4
um,
different ones.
saying "F you, current president or former president,
Next
president-elect,
president.
next president." We're gonna have this. This is gonna be a problem till we get
Forever,
to
I know.
we get to January 20th. This is gonna be an issue. Anyway, so of course, she said a lot of gross things around Disney's Snow White. So I don't even know about that. But obviously, our friend our friend Stephanie went through it all, and covered it all, and we thank her for it. She talked about Ethel Kane and her elevating that statement around, what she was saying, et cetera, et cetera. And then she attacked Elon Musk like everybody that Lost is doing, and they're running away from the platform that they'll all return back to. By the way, you know what? I'm going to sidetrack. Just bear with me, folks. It's
Let's
important.
sidetrack.
So X is the platform everybody goes to. X is the most influential platform, right? It has the most influential people on it. But Spencer, right now, everybody's abandoning it for this not quite so new thing with the weird
Blue
butterfly
sky.
logo. Yeah, blue sky. How long do you think they'll last over there?
I mean, it always lasts like maybe a week or 2, right? And then everybody comes crawling back, so not that long.
Okay, so folks in the audience, do me a favor.
If the
Screen
site was
capture.
better, maybe they would last longer, but that site
They've got.
lacks functionality.
Oh yeah, did you see that? Like half the things on there are unidentified user or invalid user when they're posting.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, you're all right. But no, but seriously, those of you in my audience and even in Spencer's audience, if you somehow found your way over here, do yourselves a favor, screen cap every one of these, like I'm leaving letters. This platform's blah, blah, blah. I promise you, when these people boomerang back to this platform in 2 weeks or 2 months, those are going to be worth just firing at them every day for the rest
I
of their
mean,
lives.
yeah, you won the argument there.
Yeah.
Just with that screen cap.
It's like, hey, yeah, you're back. Anyway, moving on. Sorry, Spencer, just had to go
No, of
back
course.
because this feels like Threads and Mastodon all over again,
Oh,
right?
yeah, 1,000%.
Anyway,
Mastodon.
blah 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 blah. So beyond what she said in bad words aside, um, she concluded her thoughts with a final post that said, "Okay, that's all. Going on stage for Act Two of Romeo and Juliet." So she did all of that in the break period between Act One and Act Two.
The intermission, yep.
That's right. So she says, "Sending love to everybody." No, you weren't, by the way. Who
I
needs it
know.
today? May we all carry each other through the worst. You're making presuppositions, young lady, and hold these politicians accountable. And then she started promoting the Democratic governors because she obviously is referring to either New York with a wackadoo crazy person or California with a wackadoo crazy person who just jumped gas taxes by $2. Um, in the wee small hours of the morning. Anyway,
I'm so happy I don't live there anymore.
yeah. So, anyways, to hold them accountable, local government is where we will need to make real change. Guess what? Welcome to the party. We've been doing that for the last 4 or 5 years now in the rest of the world, and it does make a difference. And we get less crazy people. Anyway, moving on. Alas, all this bravado. Oh, good word, Spencer. Good word.
What else is it?
Did not last as the hubris did not
Oh,
last
yeah.
on the evening of November 15th. No, it did not. As readers may note, Zegler's admission that she made the above post last week, presumably sometime immediately following the election, doesn't line up with my Nerdy Home's apparent discovery of them. Right, because isn't that an auto-deleting story weirdness?
Yeah, like, so the next, like, I don't know if Zegler misspoke or if Steph found them later, but I just noticed that discrepancy because Steph just shared them on like Tuesday.
Yeah,
And then Rachel Zegler in her apology says, I blew up last week. And I'm like, but huh? Huh?
which is
So
which is
I don't
also
know.
why. Well, here's this. It may also be that this is a PR written by PR statement that they sent to her. She misunderstood that she needed to release it on a given day and drop
Ooh.
the PR statement then. Right?
Oh, wow.
Now,
Yeah.
that's presumption or supposition on
Yes.
my
Yeah.
part,
Yep.
but that's what makes sense. Again, PR disaster teams, life and chaos teams, whatever you want to call these people. Disaster is our job. That's what they do. But they tell you to do things in a specific order at a specific time, and I would think she just like didn't read it.
I
You know.
mean, given all of her past media appearances, I would say you're probably right.
Anyway, so the bologna sausage she wrote was I let she didn't write this. Or she released. She released. Okay, I'm going to
There
say
we
it that
go.
way. Yeah. So here it is. Hi everyone. I would like to sincerely apologize for my election post I shared on my Instagram last week. Okay.
Right? Yeah. Okay.
I let my emotions get the best of me. Hatred and anger have caused us to move farther and farther away from peace and understanding. Huh. And I am sorry for that. I'm sorry I contributed to the negative discourse. A word I don't know that she knows to use, but again,
Right.
I,
Oh,
l-
that
I
this is just the first instance of where you go, this doesn't seem like it was written by her.
well, I mean, it's one of those times where you're like, this isn't within your vocabulary. It
Right.
doesn't. It's not. I'm not familiar with this as being part of your pattern of speech, your particular parlance. And yeah, and this is overly thoughtful, which publicly, I don't know that's demonstrated. But anyway, this week has
Definitely.
been emotional for so many of us, but I firmly believe that everyone has the right to their opinion. That is definitely not her.
That's so not true.
Yeah. Even when it differs from my own. There's the word. I added all the differences before I got to differs. Anyway, I am committed to contributing
Contributing.
positively. But if judicious system, anyway, contributing contributing positively toward a better tomorrow. Uh, thanks, your pal Rach.
That last line is the one that sells me that this is the most corporate, like, middle ground sort of statement that they possibly could have had her release. The
There's a great big beautiful tomorrow
I am
shining at the end
committed to
of the
contributing
day.
positively toward a better tomorrow. It's generic, it sounds good, it doesn't say anything. It I would bet so much money right now that that was from a PR team.
Yeah, well, you know what else is from a PR team? The guy that wrote this article clearly. Look at this. He's this guy right here. You see what he wrote? This here, right there. At
Look at
current,
this.
it's unknown whether Zegler made this apology of her own volition or because Disney contractually ordered her to do so out of fear that her previous comments could hurt Snow White's box office profits. More?
I know. That's why they had to deploy the team. They
Deploy the
at this
team.
point this movie's gonna make $10. Because you brought it up earlier, culture, but I want to just remind you and everybody else, like when she first went out and at D23 and they were like, Snow White's coming, and she gave that interview where she's like, yeah, that old classic is like outdated and sexist, and we gotta update it. Weird, weird, weird. We all know that clip. Remember, right after that, they so Variety, the entertainment news website, they have this feature they do sometimes called actors on actors or directors on directors, and it's basically exactly like it sounds. They'll get two actors, two directors, and they will just let them sort of have a conversation, interview each other. And the week at, or like a couple weeks after that D23 like drama exploded, because remember, once the general public heard her talking trash on Snow White, they turned on it. They were like, "What's her problem? This movie is great. I have no idea what she's talking about." So fast forward to a couple of weeks later, she goes on this actors on actors feature, and her the person across from her is freaking the Little Mermaid live action star Halle Bailey. Like if that's not the most PR Disney setup thing of all time, I don't know what is. And then of course during the interview, Halle Bailey sort of asked her, what do you think about, the reaction to your last comments? And she gives this whole BS answer about like, "Oh, I love Disney. I love everything Disney has put out in the last 100 years. The original movie is magical." And it's just like, "Oh, they got to you. They know that you're stepping in it."
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, in a lot of different ways. But
Oh yeah.
what I find fascinating is just how flat that comes across. Like
Oh
that
yeah.
is corpo speak. Nobody could differ. Could nobody could not see the difference it's easy to differentiate her versus the
Yes.
PR team. And that's a problem. And that's a problem because it removes even more authenticity from her. Right now, I mean, my opinion is this, and this is my opinion, folks. You're welcome to your own, but I believe she's like one of the prime examples of an NPC. Feed a bunch of stuff in
Yes.
here that isn't processed through critical thinking. Just stuff it full, and then listen to what she spits out. There's a decent chance it's some version of whatever's been spit into her ear hole because she didn't think about it at all. She's not been presented with enough information to make an evaluation on it, and it just goes right out here. How can I shape this so I sound like NPC number 4 that I'm supposed to
Well,
be right now?
I think even more, maybe not insidious is too strong of a word, but more to the point on that, it's not just that she's oh crap. What were we just I just lost my train of thought.
NPC. She's an
Oh yeah,
NPC.
NPC. Yeah, thank you. Okay, I'll go back. It's not so much that she is just being an NPC, she's actually the sort of culmination of the past, oh man, almost decade now of this NPC type behavior because she's younger, she's obviously up and coming. She saw all of the actors, over this last decade coming out and being crazy and taking their swings. And so being online like she is, being in Hollywood, she probably heard more affirmations to everything that was being said than not. So now that she gets in the industry, she goes, I can do this. Screw you guys. Like I'm untouchable. It is almost, yeah, it's very immature way to look at it.
Yeah, look, I don't think there's a lot of depth going on in a lot of people when they're speaking on a red carpet. I don't know that they should be asked questions that are tied to the world around them. I think we should focus in on what they have to say about the film that they were in, and I think that would do them a favor and take us back
Oh
to the
yeah.
days of old Hollywood when they literally didn't have to say anything about anything.
Yeah,
Basically,
you
all they
don't have to
did
say
like it.
anything, guys. You can just have your opinion.
Yeah, and look, you can always have your opinion. I don't care. Express it on the red carpet. Just be a little more informed and understanding about the thing you're speaking about so that you're not ridiculed for, maybe coming up short, which is something I think she's going to have to deal with for a long time. And her co star is going to have to, do her level best not to, feel nothing but, you know, vile rage thoughts with her co star. I'm sorry. Look, this thing comes out March 21st. It's not going to do spectacular. It costs over
No.
$500 million by the time A&P is done, and they're going to need to make $1.2 billion to break even on it.
Please
Just
let
the
this
way
be
it
the
is.
final nail in the live action remake coffin or live
Mm,
action Disney remake coffin at
Well,
least.
speaking of which, we've got 2 films in a row that are going to help drive that nail home. One coming up here this holiday season is Mufasa. That thing's going to get
Oh
destroyed.
man.
You know,
What, you don't think audiences are excited for the Lion King cinematic universe?
no, I think they're more excited for Sonic 3. Just my opinion. Anyway, what do you think? That's the whole question here. What do you think? Do you think that Disney's Snow White star, Rachel Zegler, meant a word she said? Well, actually, at least in her initial statements or in her apology. Which do you think was authentic and heartfelt? Which do you think was corpo speak? And if you have any other thoughts around this controversy or whether or not this film will make a dollar at all profit, uh, let me know in the comments section below. Check out my good friend Spencer from Bounding into Comics. They got a great writing staff over there. We've got a lot of great resources now, courtesy of the wonderful sites that have been put together, and Spencer drives one of those boats. So thank you, Spencer. And check out his
My
YouTube
pleasure.
channel and his bonus YouTube channel about foiling things. I
Yes,
guess
we
one.
foil things all day. No,
Yeah.
if you guys are familiar with the Rippaverse, Andrew Rodriguez, their creative manager, he and I have recently launched a comic book live stream. So Thursday nights, he and I, we get together, we talk about everything that's going on in comics. So if that sounds up your alley, come hang out with us on Foil Variant. Throw that into your search bar. It'll take you right there. And hopefully we'll see you soon. And hopefully I'll be back to hang out with Culture here. And I know I'll see Culture on Tuesday. I
That's right.
probably shouldn't have dated it because you're probably who knows when
No,
you'll
it
get this out.
yeah, no, and hey, look, every Tuesday that game plays. You can find us talking about, well, actually being journalists, kind of, sort of, maybe a little bit more so than any of the
More s
outlets.
dang it,
But
that's what I was
yeah,
literally gonna say more so than the industry.
yeah, we actually do it. We report on the games of the game industry around us, and we give real honest reviews that are not always seven. On that note, be sure to take care of yourself, take care of others, and until next time, see ya.
See ya.